Welcome to our channel. Today, we dive into the history of one of the most fascinating and mysterious eras, the era of Andalusia. This region, on the territory of modern Spain, was under Muslim rule for over 700 years and left a deep mark on European history. Today, we will talk about the great armies of Andalusia, their strategies, tactics, and contributions to the development of military art, the beginning of the Muslim conquest. It all started in 711, when the Arab commander Tariq ibn Ziyad landed on the coast of Spain with a small force of 7,000 men. This force was the first step towards the conquest of the Iberian Peninsula. With their swift and decisive attacks, they managed to defeat the numerous forces of the Visigoths and paved the way for the creation of a new Muslim state, Al-Andalus. But how did a small army manage to conquer such vast territories? Secrets of success first. A key factor was the military experience of the Arabs and Berbers, who had participated in conquests in the Middle East and North Africa. They were excellent at conducting mobile battles and swift attacks. Secondly, their opponents, the Visigothic armies, were fragmented and weakened by internal conflicts, allowing the Muslim conquerors to act effectively and swiftly. Organization and structure of the army. In Andalusia, the armies were organized similarly to the Arab armies of that time. The corps consisted of light and heavy cavalry, as well as infantry armed with bows and spears. The troops were highly mobile, allowing them to conduct reconnaissance effectively, set up ambushes, and attack enemies unexpectedly. Cavalry, the main force of Andalusian armies. One of the key features of the Andalusian armies was their cavalry. The light cavalry, known as Furzan, was fast and maneuverable. It was used for reconnaissance operations, quick strikes, and retreats. The heavy cavalry, on the other hand, could break through enemy defenses and deliver powerful blows in the most intense battles. Cavalry gave the warriors of Al-Andalus an advantage on the battlefields, allowing them to swiftly change positions and attack where the enemy least expected it. For example, in the Battle of Las Navas de Tolosa, despite their defeat, Andalusian cavalry managed to hold off significantly larger Christian armies for a long time. Tactics and strategy. Andalusian commanders often used the tactics of swift raids and guerrilla warfare. They understood that mobility and surprise could effectively counter even a stronger enemy. An example of successful tactics can be seen in the strategy of Al-Mansur, who conducted regular campaigns against the northern Christian kingdoms at the end of the 10th century. He often used rapid strikes, which allowed him to inflict serious damage on the enemy. Important battles and campaigns. One of the most significant victories of the Andalusian forces was achieved at the Battle of Guadalete in 711, where Tariq ibn Ziyad defeated the Visigothic king, Roderick. This battle became a turning point in the history of the Iberian Peninsula and marked the beginning of Muslim rule in Spain. Another important battle was the Battle of Sagrajas, Zalaca, in 1086, where the Andalusian forces, together with their North African allies, managed to defeat the armies of King Alfonso VI of Castile. This battle became an example of how Muslim states could unite in the face of a common threat, the Almohad armies. At the turn of the 12th and 13th centuries, power in Andalusia passed to the Almohad dynasty, who brought significant changes to the military structure. The Almohad armies were known for their discipline and strict organization. They implemented a rigorous system of military training, allowing them to create more cohesive and combat-ready armies. The Almohad army actively used disciplined heavy infantry and archers, which allowed them to conduct long sieges and repel enemy attacks. The Almohads also expanded the use of cavalry, often focusing on it. Their mounted warriors were well trained and could march hundreds of kilometers in a short period. An example of the power of these troops was the Battle of Alarcos in 1195, where the Almohad army managed to deliver a crushing defeat to King Alfonso VIII of Castile, the fall of Andalusia and its armies. Despite all the successes and power of the army, the military dominance of Andalusia began to wane by the end of the 13th century. The fall of the Almohads and internal conflicts among various factions led to the disintegration of the unified state into several independent emirates. The last of them, the Emirate of Granada, fell in 1492 after a long siege by the Catholic monarchs of Spain. Influence on European warfare. We must also mention the influence the Andalusian armies had on European military art. The Muslim conquerors brought with them not only new methods of warfare, but also technology. For example, Andalusia became one of the first regions in Europe where crossbows and siege engines were actively used. Muslim warriors were also the first to teach Europeans how to use gunpowder weapons in battles. Conclusion. The armies of Andalusia were not just a force on the battlefield. They became a reflection of the culture and power of that era. Strong, mobile, and disciplined, they left their mark on history, and the tactics and military technologies brought by the Muslims to the Iberian Peninsula served as a foundation for many future European military achievements. The history of the Andalusian armies is a story of courage, strategic genius, and the struggle for their ideals. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss new fascinating stories from the world of history and culture. Thank you for watching, and see you next time.